Hello everyone. Today I am going to show you how to do a folded edge at the end of our work. So this is actually binding off or casting off, whichever terminology you prefer to use, at the end of our work, as opposed to when we do a folded hem at the beginning of our work, in which you fold your edge, knit two together, and continue in your pattern like you would with a folded brim. Here we are doing a bind off after folding our edge, and it's similar to the 3 needle bind off, and I'm going to show you how this is done. First of all, this is the edge along the front of a cardigan or duster. So I have actually picked up stitches along my work, and I knit about 8 rows of stockinette. And this is done perpendicular to the rest of my pattern, which doesn't matter. Even if this were at the end of my work and we were folding this over, we would do the same method. Oops, excuse me for bumping the camera. So here I have my stockinette stitch, and down here is the same stitch that I had picked up for my work before I began. So I'm actually going to find that. It's easier to find since I picked up edges, as it already has this little ridge here, so I know where I am picking up. And since I've picked up every stitch, I just know to move on to the next one. So I do pick it up. So I have both on my left hand needle, and I'm going to take my right hand needle, put it through both, and knit them together as one stitch, otherwise known as a knit two together. Then on my right hand needle, I have the previous stitch that I had knit together, and then the one I just did, and I'm going to bind it off. So I'm going to take my left hand needle and stick it through the far right stitch, and I'm going to take it over and off. And then we are just going to repeat this along the row. So I'm going to find that same picked up stitch for that row. I'm going to knit them together and then bind off. And this is done over the entire edge until your very last stitch, in which you will break the yarn and pull it through the last loop. Oops, this one's a little bit of a challenge for me to pick up. There we go. I'm going to knit them together and bind off. So you have this lovely squishy edge, and then it's nice and clean on the inside. And it does not include seaming. Now this can be done in the round, and when this is done, when your work is not perpendicular, like you're just folding over the end of your work, you won't often have this little ledge to guide where you're going to pick up, but you will want to pick up the bumps on the purl edging along the same row or round. When this is done, it may be helpful to put a removable place marker every so often. So if your eyes are playing tricks on you, you can find that same row in which you're folding over, because once you start to fold, it does get a little bit difficult to see which row you are picking up on if you want that straight line. Or I have known some to add a lifeline where they plan on folding and picking up their work, and they can easily find those stitches to do so. So this is the same for when it's knit flat or in the round, whether you are doing a picked up edge or finishing your work by folding it over and seaming. You will find the matching stitch in the same row or round. You will pick it up with your left hand needle, knit two together, and bind off.